feel like in recent years, the world has just kind of shifted, you know. Obviously, other than the drastic change we took in 2020, I feel like life just hasn't been the same since I was a kid. Um, I grew up playing all these sorts of different video games, and I really liked playing the Fallout. I watched a lot of Minecraft, played some. I never got good at anything, but I think I missed out in recent years on a lot of the development that I could have had. Um, I watched a lot of the sagas of these people who were living their best life. The people living their trueness and their comfort. And I never got any of that. And I just kind of wanted to make something to put out there and just say, I hope someone else sees this and maybe can relate. I want to be better. Ever since I got, kicked out of the military and I entered the medical field, I'm going to college. I've got so many things going for me, but everything just feels so heavy these days. Everything's stressful, and especially with the mind-boggling content online, I feel like we're not really getting any value out of anything. Nothing's entertaining, everything's slop, and that's another reason why I wanted to put something out there. I feel like people need a space to understand and sort of relate to a person that can just create content without it being slop. Just playing games for the sake of playing games. Back to when playing games was, fun and felt more nostalgic. Everyone has these crazy camera setups and these crazy AI videos, and everything has to be about making money and making a profit off of people and engagement and clicks. It's not fun anymore. And there's so many big, great creators that are doing so many big, great things, but I wanted to go back to a time where none of that existed. A time where everyone was on a level playing field and there was just some sort of smaller community that could be created. I don't really know how to do any of this, YouTube stuff or anything, but I want to be consistent about it, at least once every 2 weeks, once a month, something like that, just to take a break and just play some games, even though I'm, gonna be bad. I haven't had time for video games recently, and I really need something to unwind, and I hope this at least just finds one person who can relate to that and can really feel how I'm feeling. Everything's so overwhelming these days. And it's gotten to the point where what is the point of anything if it's just going to be more of the same stress? Is there a payoff? Does that payoff incur more stress? And I got sick of it. I'm really getting sick of it. But I hope that my bad gameplay can just accompany some sort of resolution, especially as the New Year's just turned for me. I hope, my one goal with all of this is to just find a community. I've never had a place to fit in. I never really did fit in. I never fit in. There was always the archetypes of, you have the nerds, you have the jocks, you have the, stick odds. And, those are all fine and great, but at the end of the day, I never had a community. Growing up, it was so chronically on my all the time. Every friend I made. They didn't understand. They didn't get it. And I guess now that I'm here, it's just so chronically alone. I hope that there's something that can be realized out of it. Find a community, just create something out of my life, and enjoy the now. I don't think this is necessarily a New Year's resolution or anything, but I think that this is something that I've been meaning to do for a while. I've been putting it off. I can't commit, but I want to. I really want to. So I'm going to try and make this work. I don't care about viewership. I just care that it hopefully helps one person and it helps maybe create a community. That would be great. I'm going to start a countdown. 365 days. And I want to see where I get in that timeline. And we can reconvene on all the seriousness and all the state of the world stuff then. I want to make some entertaining stuff, just playing some games. So we will start off here on on a sour note, and then we can build up to it. And then next year, January 1st, 2027, we'll see where it takes me. We'll see where it takes us. And hopefully, I find something out there waiting for me. I hope that I get guided by whatever force of the universe is out there. It's so bad. I'm recording this in my car. That's how everything has been. My car with a broken windshield and a broken window in the back. I don't even know how to drive a manual, and I have a manual that I'm sitting in right now that I got for $800. That is just how life has been. And I think that's a representation of realistically a lot of people's experiences. Everyone's broke, except for the rich, the Commonwealth. They have the money. But I think it's really about the few people trying to make a difference in the small communities. Those small communities that can band together and grow to be something more. And on that topic, I feel like there is some sort of goal to be set in and of itself of just having a small community of people. Just knowing people, genuinely getting to know people. So if you do comment, I'll reply to it. If you join, if I create a Discord server, you join the Discord server, I'm going to be active on it. I just want to meet people, like-minded people that, feel sort of messed up by the world right now, and hopefully banding together sort of helps that issue. Because I feel so overwhelmed. I've got 2 classes in the spring and I'm still just messed up about it. It doesn't feel right. It shouldn't be this way. I should be able to take a break. And there's a car passing by. But I was thinking, there's this girl that I met so long ago, like 3 years, 4 years, I don't even know. And things never worked out. And I just hope that someday I can, accept that and understand that, if something died, it probably deserved to be dead. But I'm hopeful in the fact that I can move forward on it. Put in the comments, what you want me to talk about. Do whatever. If no one puts anything, I'll find something to talk about. I am a great yapper. Probably the best. You're about to, probably see some terrible gameplay, and it's gonna be great, It's it just feels honest, That's what we need today, honesty. We need someone who just can be so honest with the world. And we don't have that. Everybody is on a different page. Everyone has their own truth. And yeah, I have my own truths, but the truth is that my truth is real and genuine. Everybody has a truth, and most people in the world today, most public figures, their truth is skewed. They don't understand. They might have been through it once, but times have changed. And these days especially, there's so many people, like I was saying earlier with the AI slap content, it's always chasing a reward. It's always for selfish gain. There's no real reason for it. And I just want to make other people happy. I want to make myself happy. And this is something I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking. I enjoy playing video games and being the worst gamer possible. I miss the days where we were still figuring things out. Now it seems like everyone has to have it figured out, or else you're exiled from society. I'm not saying I don't have anything figured out, but I'm saying that I'm still young and I don't have a lot figured out. I want to learn things. I want to learn skills. I want to see the world. I want to do stuff, but I don't have any of that, I don't have that luxury. And so maybe if this reaches some people, we can go from there and reconvene. But I hope you guys enjoyed talking to me this week. Maybe I'll start streaming if it gets enough popularity. This could reach people. We could build something out of this together as an honest people, But that's enough yapping from me. I will see you guys someplace, sometime.